कृपा करो दीन के दाते, मेरा गुण अवगुण न विचार हो कोई, माटी का क्या तो पै स्वामी, मानस की गत एही, ज्ञान ध्यान किछ कर्म न जाना, सार न जाना तेरी, सब ते वड्डा सतगुरु नानक, जिन कल राखी मेरी। धन धन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी की निੱਘੀ ਗੋਦ ਦਾ आनंद मार रही साध संगत जी, फतेह दी प्रवानगी देनी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। सेवादारां ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦਾਸ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਸਾਂਝੀਆਂ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ। I've been asked by the camp Sevadars to do a small talk in English and Punjabi. I'm going to try and speak in both languages. दास की कोशिश है हुई रहेगी भी पंजाबी ਤੇ इंग्लिश दोनों से विचार की जाए। The talk that we're going to talk about today is, you might have heard when you do a class, you say Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbat Da Bhalla। ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰੀਦੀ ਆ, ਅਰਦਾਸ ਦੇ ਅੰਤ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਪੰਕਤੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ। ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave us Sikhi, we all know we look different. We all look different, we stand up. ਸਾਡੀ ਪਛਾਣ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਆ, ਸਾਡੀ ਦਸਤਾਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਪਛਾਣ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ। ਰੂਪ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੂਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ, ਸਾਡੀ ਚੇਤਨਾ ਵੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। Our thinking, the way we think, the way we do things need to be different as well, not just the way we look. That makes us unique. We don't follow everybody else, we lead. We are leaders, we're natural born leaders. We don't just look different, we do things differently as well. That's what makes us a Sikh. Now, when we say Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbat Da Bhalla, Sarbat Da Bhalla is our destination. Sarbat De Bhalle tak saadi gaal pahunchni hai, oh saada nishana, Sarbat Da Bhalla saada nishana। शुरुआत कब होती है? नाम, नानक नाम। We start from Naam and we need to get to Sarbat Da Bhalla. So, as I said, we have to start somewhere to get to our destination. We can't just jump to our destination. We have to travel. तुरना पैना, शुरुआत करनी पैनी है, कदम चुकने पैने हैं, फिर सानू साडी मंजिल तक पहुंचने का मौका मिलना है। So the first thing is Naam. That's what makes us different from the rest of the world. When Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Sikha de naam japna, Sikha di naam japan di chetana, naam japan da sankalp vi Sikhi bahut vadda hai. It's huge. When we do naam simran, we don't do it for ourselves. You know, you might have heard throughout this camp, you might have heard it as well, and I'm not saying it's wrong that when you do naam simran, when you do bhakti, you do it for yourself. Yes, you do it for yourself, but a true Sikh doesn't do anything for himself. Sarbat De Bhalle di gall hondi hai, naam vi Sikh kalla apne vaste nahi japda। We'll give you an example. Around 1520, 1521, there was a Mughal Raja Babur, and he was going to come and attack India. Babur ne Hindustan te hamla karna siga 1501-1502, around that time. And during that time, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਅਭਿਆਸੀ ਜੋਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, all the spiritual people, when they had heard that they're going to get attacked, the whole village, the whole country is going to get attacked, what they did, they started doing a lot of naam simran. They did a lot of bhakti. But what was their aim? They did bhakti so they can blind, they said they're going to make the whole army blind when they come to conquer India. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਬਾਬਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਫੌਜਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭਗਤੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ। ਸੋ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣ ਦਾ ਸੰਕਲਪ ਦੇਖੋ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਦੇਖੋ, ਉਹ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਕੇ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ। And our Ardas says Nanak Naam Naam Simran, our goal should be that whatever we get from Naam, we're going to do good with that. Because with Naam, there's so much power in Naam that you can do whatever you want. But it's how you use it. A lot of people use it to do bad things, but a true Sikh only uses it to do good things. And if you think about it, a lot of us, you might have heard the story in camps as well. There was a guy called Sajjan Thag. ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਦੇਖੋ ਸੱਜਣ ਠੱਗ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਹੀ ਸੱਜਣ ਬਾਣਾ ਵੀ ਪਾਇਆ ਚਿੱਟਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਸੀ he used to wear all spiritual clothes. He used to look like a saintly person. His name was Sajjan as well, which is a very nice name. But what did he used to do? He used to loot people at night. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, they say kothe mandap mariya pasar chitviyaha tathiya kamna agni. So basically what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, if you dress all saintly, if you look at me, I've got a big dastar, I've got a bana on, anyone that looks at me, they're going to think, oh, he's a spiritual man, he does everything, Guru da sekhya. Je andar bani na hove, then you're basically like a really nice house that's been decorated inside and outside with lovely lights there. It's going to turn into, there's no use for it. So if I haven't got anything inside me, this is just a show. That's just a show. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that that's not going to get you anywhere. Someone said, Bani Bana Khamba Pashan Singh Guru Ka Panchi Jaan. Basically what that means is, Bani and Bana, two things, they're like your wings. You need two wings to fly. You can't fly with one wing, so if you just got Bani, but you haven't got Bana, with Bana, this is your uniform. What I'm wearing is uniform given by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. But your true Bana is your Panch Prakar. If you haven't got your Panch Prakar, you haven't got your Bana. So you need your Bana and you need your Bani. So just being Amritari doesn't do it. You need to have Naam inside you as well. Guru Nanak Dev Ji then went on another example. Guru Nanak Dev Ji gaye jithe Guru Nanak Dev Ji nu pata lagya ek fakir siga Hamsa Gaun sunada. And he decided, there was a fakir called Hamsa Gaun, he decided that he's going to do bhakti. Again, look at the difference, why Sikhs do bhakti and why other people do bhakti. ਉਹਨੇ ਸੰਕਲਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਵਿਚਾਰੀ ਨੇ ਜਪ ਤਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਪਿੰਡ ਨੂੰ ਤਬਾਹ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ. So he wanted to destroy the whole village by doing bhakti for 40 days, and he had that power. So he, as I said, if you do Naam Simran, you get a lot of Shakti, and he had that power. It's how you use it. Guru Nanak Dev Ji went outside his dome, and they said to Bhai Davinder Singh, if you look at the slide, that's Bhai Davinder Singh with a musical instrument. It's called Rabab. It looks a bit like a guitar. It's like a string instrument. You play like a violin though. Bhai Davinder Singh used to play that every time Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to sing Bani. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji go outside his dome and they say to Bhai Davinder Singh, play Rabab. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Hamza Gaun se kol jaake Bhai Davinder Singh nu kehte Rabab se Bani aayi hai. And then Bhai Davinder Singh starts playing Rabab, Guru Nanak Dev Ji starts singing Bani. If you look at the actual Rabab, our lives, our Jeevan, our body is like a Rabab as well. It's like a musical instrument. If the wires are too tight, or if they're too loose, you're going to be out of tune, aren't you? You can't. It's not going to make it's not going to sound the same. It's not going to make great music. Our breath is like those strings. Our life is like those strings. Our body is like those strings. So if you think about it, if you go, je aapa kattarwadi ho jahiye, te manukta to apna khela chila diye, har kam apne vaste karte nahi, ode naal bhi ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨੀ, ਜੇ ਐਨੀ ਢਿੱਲ ਪੈ ਜਾਵੇ ਕਿ ਰਹਿ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਲਵੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨੀ. ਰਬਾਬ ਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਰਾਂ ਜੇ ਟਾਈਟ ਹੋਣ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਦੀ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਲੂਸ ਹੋਣ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਨੀ. We have to find the right balance. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji was trying to teach us. And nowadays, especially if you see a homeless person walking on the road, or someone who smells a little bit or looks a bit dirty, what do? You just run away from them. Even as Sikhs, Amritari Sikh भी जे कोई homeless कोई देख लवे या किसी ने ज़्यादा शराब पीती होवे वो तो भजदे आ भी असीं गंदे हो जाना What did Guru Nanak Dev Ji do? साडे ते Guru Nanak Dev Ji सोच अंदर देखो असीं उत्थे मिलना साडी सोच सेम हो जावे Guru Nanak Dev Ji दी सोच जिहड़ी सीगी Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to a pit where there was a guy who had leprosy ਕੋੜ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਇੱਕ ਆਦਮੀ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੇਟ ਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੱਢਤਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਨਾ ਪੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤਾ nobody used to go near him nobody used to send their kids near him they said he's dirty stay away from him you're going to get ill Guru Nanak Dev Ji go to him they don't go to anyone else Guru Nanak Dev Ji ਇਕੱਲੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਉਧਾਰ ਕੀਤਾ Guru Nanak Dev Ji cured him and they said to the rest of the world जियो तपत है बारो बार तप तप खपे बहुत बेकार जय तन बाणी विसर जाए जो पक्का रोगी will die that guy who had leprosy he's not the one who's got disease he's not the one who's dirty he's not the one who's ill the person who hasn't got naam inside them he's the real rogi jere andar naam nahi wo ho rogi that's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is teaching us so I might look the way I look if I haven't got naam inside me I'm the one who's got a problem I'm the one who's got a disease. People should be running away from me. Why should anyone, if Guru Nanak Dev Ji is telling me to jump naam, I'm not listening to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Why should Guru Nanak Dev Ji come near me? I'm not doing what my father's asking me to do. So when you do bhakti, when you do naam, as I said, you get a lot of power. Naam japna chardi kala hundi hai. That's the second stage. Chardi Kala is the second stage. Nanak Naam, Chardi Kala. So the first step is Naam. That's your base. That's your root. Naam japoge, ta Chardi Kala wale passe jana aapna. Chardi Kala is not temporary. Chardi Kala, even when you're boiled alive, is Chardi Kala. ਜਦੋਂ ਖੋਪਰ ਲਾਉਂਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਰਿਆ ਨਾਲ ਚੀਰਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਿੰਦਾ ਸਾੜ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ is not temporary ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ isn't something that comes and goes you know some people say ਉਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਬੜਾ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਸੀਗਾ 2-3 ਸਾਲ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ that's not ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ he was never there ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ is there to stay when you're in true ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ then regardless of what happens you're going to stay in ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ And that power comes from Naam. Naam takes you to a place where it says, Mama say, Man na digay, tan kahe ko daraye, charan kamal chit rahe samaye. Man na digay, tan kahe ko daraye. If your mind is strong, if you got body, Naam, je man se Naam vasya hove, tan te kuch bhi nahi. You're not going to feel any physical pain. It's just a myth. You need to instill Naam to make your man strong. And your tongue is nothing. Your tongue is basically your body. If you think of it like even Barney says, Sabna sohre bachana, sab putravan haat, nanak tan sohagani, jin sahnar pyar. Your body is here in Pekekar, in your parents' house. Every single one of us, whether you're male or you're female, you need to think that this is your Pekekar, this is your parents' house. You're preparing to get married and go to Sachkhand, to Maharaj. You know when all our daughters, our sisters, they start preparing from a young age that we're going to get married one day, we're going to go on to live with our in-laws. Our in-laws is Guru Maharaj. All of us are brides. That's what we need to think of. That's what we need to start preparing ourselves from now. The later we prepare ourselves, we're not going to be ready. We might not even get married in that sense. So, Chandi Kala. In 17th and 18th, late 17th, 18th century, starting Khadi Sati, Sikh Jagalat Sige. All the Sikhs used to live in jungles because they were headhunted. There was prices on their heads. People used to kill Sikhs for money. Sikh Jagalat Rehte Sige. They didn't have proper shelter. They didn't have any food. They used to eat leaves at times. They didn't have any drinking water. They used to drink from ponds, rivers. They didn't have any clothes, old clothes, phate purane kapde se Baade sare kate sige, kode, all the horses were being, they used to live literally on the horses and in the jungles. And even the horses were being, the weapons were blunt. And there was only about 100, 200, 300 of them in an area. Look at the chandi kala that you get from Nam. At that time, this is how the Sikhs used to live, in jungles. And the other person that you can see in the slide, his name is Nader Shah. He was the king of that whole area, and he had armies, thousands of people in his army, and the Singhs were only 150, 200 people. Look at the Chandi Kala, because he could control 150 to 200 people, 100-200 Singh all the time. Control नहीं होता सीगा चांदी कला देखो सिंघां दी ना घोड़े उन्हां कोल ना चंगे घोड़े ना शस्त्र ना बस्तर. Even then, Nader Shah goes to the Sikhs. He sends a messenger to the Sikhs, and he says to them, let's sign a treaty, let's make a compromise that whatever you earn, whatever you loot, give me a bit of food, a bit of whatever you earn, give it to me as tax, and I'll give you a small land to rule on. Look at the Chandi Kala. Sikhs probably haven't eaten for ages, and what do they turn around and say to the messenger to go back and tell Nader Shah? Sikhs ne ki bhejya, dekho Chandi Kala. They say, "Amko Padshahi Nanak dei." Kingship was given to us by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. We are natural born kings. We are kings. You can't give us a small piece of land and make us kings, because we are kings. We've got our crown on our head at all times. Regardless of what condition we live in, we are kings. We're going to meet you in a battlefield. Fir na lad ke jo sade haq ka assi aap le lange. They said to them, look at the Chandi Kala, they said, we're lions. You can't make lions pets. We rule the jungle. We take what's ours. That's Chandi Kala. You get that from Nam. And then, once you do enough Nam Bhakti, you detach yourself from everything else. You see the difference between what's real in this world and what's false. You detach yourself even from your body. शरीर को भी बात करके चेतनता की गल आ जाती है, फिर जब नाम जपते हैं, फिर चढ़ती कला होती है. You control all the 5 evils. I'm sure you might have spoken about them in the camp. And then once you're in that chढ़ती कला state, regardless of what happens to you, जब आप चढ़ती कला चले जाते हैं, भावे जो मर्जी हो जाए, फिर पहाड़ा मनन की शक्ति आ जाती है. नानक नाम चढ़ती कला तेरे पहाड़े. फिर गल होती है पहाड़ा मनन की. Look at one example of Paramahansa Digal. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, they are Guru. They could do everything. Everything. But they chose not to. Because Paramahansa, they wanted to live in the will of Maharaj, in the will of God. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji sat on a hot plate with fire underneath, you can see, and hot sand is being poured on their head. Tati Tavi Guru Arjan Dev Ji baithe hai. And Sai Amir, he's standing right next to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and Sai Amir ki akha jo athru aa there, and he can't see Guru in pain. He can't see Guru in pain, so he's crying. He's crying. He's saying everything is hot. Sara kuch tatta, mahina bhi tatta, aag bhi tatti, plate tavi bhi tatti, pani bhi tatta, reta bhi tatta, jahangir bhi tatta, chandu bhi tatta. एक बंदा ठंडा उठे बैठा गुरु अर्जन देव जी महाराज. Everything is hot. The month is hot. The plate is hot. The water is hot. Because Guru Arjan Dev Ji was boiled as well before. Everything is hot. The only person who's sitting down, cool, calm, collected is Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. Do you know why that is? Guru Arjan Dev Ji turned around and said to Sai Amir, "Mai mere man ko sukh. Mainu dukh nahi lagda, mere man ko sukh hai." Because you've got Naam. Guru Arjan Dev Ji's got Naam. If you got Naam inside you, Sara kuch sukh hai. You don't feel anything physically. That he can't. Sai Amir can't stand it. He can't stand seeing Guruji in so much pain. So Sai Amir tries again. He says, "Tusi mere Guru are, you're my Guru. If you want, mere sir te haath rakho. I'll destroy everything. This enemy has done so much to you, I'll destroy them." Guru Arjan Dev Ji turned around and said to him, who is the enemy? I can't see any enemy here. Mainu das dushman hai kaun? Sabko meet hum apan kina, hum sabna ke sajan. When you are at that stage, in Chardi Kala stage, you see everybody as your friend. That's what Guruji is saying. I am a friend to all. I am everyone's friend. So you can't. They bring so much to Guruji, and he's saying, "You're my friends. I can't see any enemy." That's Chardi Kala. Let's move on. That was our Gurus. Even the Sikhs are exactly the same as our Gurus. We need to get to that stage. Mir Manuniya Jilla. In Mir Manu's jail, you can see that women were captured, Sikh women were captured, and they were made to grind grind wheat to make flour the whole day. And we never used to have machines back in the day. Those are chakkiyan, they're two big heavy stones, and they used to grind wheat in the middle of those. And they're heavy stones, and they used to spin them the whole day. They used to make them spin the whole day. Pura din saadiyan bibiyan uthe chakkiyan peendiyan siyan saadiyan maatawaं saadiyan bhainan. And at the end of the day, the jailers, they used to say to them, you're not going to get any food. They used to give them half a roti and half a glass of pani. That's it. Every day. And when you're in that Chardi Kala, look at the Pana Manandi Shakti. Because you're in Chardi Kala, you accept everything. And you're always happy. You know what they do? At night, they get their food, they don't eat it. They sit down, they do the Rana Sarbat Da Bhalla. Rana Sarbat Da Bhalla karke, ardas ki kardiyan, Hey Sache Pasha, चार पैर दिन तेरे सुख दा प्रतीत होया, चार पैर रात की सुख की बितावी. That the day has passed in happiness, may the night pass in happiness as well. This is Chardi Kala. That's the stage we need to get at. The jailers, they say, no, this is not enough. We can break you. What do? They snatch the tiny little kids, about your age, even younger. 3 4 2 साल के बच्चे उन्होंने गोदियां जो खींच के, they chop them into pieces in front of them. They chop all their kids into pieces while they're doing grinding the wheat. And do you know what they do? They get all those pieces and they put them in their laps and around their necks. So you can see that in the photos. And then at night, what do the Bibian do? They do their Rana Sarbat Da Bhalla. They've got their children chopped up into pieces in their laps. And they do ardas again. And they say that the day has passed in happiness in your Pana. May the night pass in happiness. That's Pana Manandi Shaktiya. Haje bhi ardas ohi karte hai. Din 4 बार दिन सुख दा प्रतीत होया, 4 बार रात की सुख दी बितावनी. That's the stage of Chardi Kala, which gives you Pana Manandi Shakti. Another example, Madhudas Bairagi, who then became Bhai Davinder Singh Bahadur. Cut a long story short, he hunted a deer. The deer was pregnant. And when he found that out, he became a Bairagi. Bairagi basically, he became really sad that he denounced the world. He just left everything. And then from Bairagi, he became a Udasi. From Udasi, he became a Jogi. Jogi ban ke bada jap tap kita Madhudas Bairagi ne, and he ended up in Nanded. In 1708, 3rd of September 1708, Guru Gobind Singh Ji came and met Madhudas Bairagi. Madhudas Bairagi nu Guru Gobind Singh Ji Nanded 1703 च मिले. खंडे बांधे का कौल शिका के उन्होंने मंगलधारी बनाया, बाबा बंदा सिंह बहादुर बनाया. And he went on to create Khalsa Raj, and he fought many battles for the Sikhs. And then eventually he got arrested in 1716. When he got arrested, he got tortured. You can see how he was tortured. Every day they used to torture him. And look at the Pana Manandi Shakti. And they sing, because he took Amrit, Guru Gobind Singh Ji put him in so much Chardi Kala, they tortured him. They gave him 2 options. Either accept Islam or they're going to kill him. He says the Guru that left everything for us, Jere Guru ne Sarbat सानू अमृत छकाउण वास्ते मैं ओनू नहीं छड़ सकदा, you might as well just kill me. So they asked him, they don't ask him, if we leave you, what kind of life do you want? They say to him, what kind of death do you want? Tanu maut kidaं di rahi hai? Look at the journey of Sikh te pahada mannan da sankalp Sikhi da. He says, give me the most horrific and most painful death so you can test your evilness and strength of power. ते मैं अपने पहाड़ा मनन दी शक्ति दा टेस्ट कर ला, तू अपने जबर नू टेस्ट कर ला, मैं अपने सबर नू टेस्ट कर ला. Because give me the most horrific death is fine with me. Then the guy who arrested him, his name was Farooq Sir. Farooq Sir turns around and says, he goes, नहीं तेनू मकाउणा नहीं, तेनू झुकाउणा वा. He said, तू गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी दा चढ़दी कला दा सिखां, तेनू मकाउणा नहीं, तेनू इस्लाम अगे झुकाउणा. Because I want you to bow down to Islam before I kill you. So I'm not just going to kill you just like that. So they're torturing you more. That doesn't work. So you know what they do? Bhai Davinder Singh Bahadur had a son. He was just under 4 years old. पौने 4 साल का पुत्र सीगा Bhai Davinder Singh Bahadur दा Baba Ajay Singh. They got Baba Ajay Singh in front of him and they put him in Baba Davinder Singh's lap. They put him in Baba Davinder Singh's lap and his hands are tied with the handcuffs at the back. He hasn't seen his son for just under 8 months. पौने 8 महीने हो गए उन्होंने प्यो पुत्र दा मिलाप नहीं होया. And his hands are tied, he can't even hug his 4-year-old son. What they do, they undo one of the handcuffs, but not so he can hug his son. As soon as they undo the hand, हाथ खोल के हाथ के खंजर फड़ा देते हैं. They put a dagger in his hand and they say, rip your son's chest apart. That's what they do. कहते अपने पुत्र दा सीना चीर दे. Look at the चढ़दी कला of a Singh and पहाड़ा मनन दी शक्ति. Baba Ajay Singh sitting there and he says to Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur says to Farooq Sir, this is my son. Even if you bring your son and put him in my lap, जे तू अपना पुत्र ले आके मेरी गोदी च बिठा दे ते तू मेरा दुश्मन है, मैं ओदे नाल भी काम नहीं करना क्योंकि गुरु नानक देव जी ने सानू क्या सरबत दा भले दी गल कीती है. And that's not Sarbat Da Bhalla. That's the journey of a Sikh. So what they do, they said, okay, if you're not going to do it, we'll do it. So they grabbed 4-year-old son of Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur. 4 साल के बच्चे को they rip his heart, rip his chest open, they pull his heart out, and then they chop him into pieces. They get the heart, Baba Ajay Singh का दिल बाहर काट के Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur ने मुंह छुपा दिया. They put his son's heart in Baba Davinder Singh's mouth, and they get the pieces of his son body parts. They make a garland and put it around Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur's neck. Farooq Sir looks at Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur and he's smiling. He's saying, Hordas, what do you say now? Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur says, we were 2 kings. Do raje lade sige, ek main ek tu. You're standing there like a loser because you still haven't got what you wanted. And the person who wins usually has a garland around their neck. Who's got a garland around his neck? I have. He's got a garland of his son's little body parts and he's saying, I've won, you've lost. That's charity kala. Fair bhi paana manana. So what he does, he goes, okay, watch this then. They grab the head of Baba Ajay Singh and they put the head of Baba Ajay Singh in Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur's lap. Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur smiles. Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur has there. Farooq Sir says, why are you smiling? What's so funny? Baba Davinder Singh Bahadur says, Iko aasi, ovi aaj tu puri karti hai. I only had one desire left, and you fulfilled that as well. And he says, what have I done? I've just chopped your son into pieces. And he says, ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ੀ, ਸਾਡੀ ਝੋਲੀਆਂ 'ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੁੱਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀਸ ਪਾਏ ਸੀ. ਅੱਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਗੋਦ 'ਚ ਚੱਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੋਦੀ 'ਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਦਾ ਸੀਸ ਪਿਆ. because you've given me the opportunity to repay my debt. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave us Amrit, they put the heads of their own sons in our lap. Now I'm happy you've given me the opportunity to go back to Guru Gobind Singh Ji's lap with my son's head in my lap. That's Chardi Kala. Pahada da Bhalla naam jo Chardi Kala hone to baad hi aunda. The next stage after Chardi Kala, Nanak naam Chardi Kala tere paane Sarbat Da Bhalla. That's the destination. We need to get to the stage of Sarbat Da Bhalla. Everybody recognizes these two. Sare nu pata Bhai Balwant Singh Rajwala, Bhai Jagtar Singh Kamara. They all on death row. And look at the difference between Sikhi Chetanta, Sikhs conscious, and everybody, the rest of the world's conscious. Look at the difference. They say we're going to kill these people to satisfy, for the satisfaction of collective consciousness. Satisfaction of collective consciousness. Samuhak Chetanta vaste ek bande nu phansi chada lena as a collective. But Sikh di Chetanta, Nanak naam Chardi Bhalla, har ek Sikh Sarbat de Bhalle di gal karda. That's the difference between a Sikh Chetanta, Sikh consciousness, and the rest of the world. Another example of that, Bhai Davinder Singh. Bhai Davinder Singh's khopar, he was scalped alive because he saved a Musliman's daughter's life. Not a Sikh, so he's lost his life, he lost everything. Even when they went to capture Bhai Davinder Singh, look at the Chardi Kala of a Sikh and Sarbat Da Bhalla. He did it for everyone else. He did it for someone who's not even in the same faith as him. He said, when the guys went to capture him, he said to them, the only way you can take me, I'll only go with you guys if you have langar at my house. Thake, any duro thake kutte aaya tusi, pehla langar shako, fir mainu giraftar karke laaye. That's the Chardi Kala. But we fight amongst ourselves all the time for small things. Sarbat Da Bhalla ki gaal assi kitthon karni hai. Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, they gave their life not for Sikhs, they gave their life for Hinduism. They gave their life for all the Hindus in this world. There wouldn't be any Hindus if Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji didn't give their life. When Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji was arrested and tortured, they were given 3 options. Accept Islam, Deen Islam Qabool Karo, Karamat dikhao, show us a magic trick, or accept death. Do you know what Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji said? Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji said, if I accept Islam, that's the death of my physical faith. Je main Deen Islam Qabool karda, mere shareerik dharm di maut hai. If I show you a magic trick, that's the death of my spiritual dharm, spiritual faith. Je main ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਮਾਤ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਨਸਿਕ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਮੌਤ ਹੈ. But if I accept death, it strengthens my physical and my spiritual faith. So I'll accept death. That's the Chardi Kala. That's our Guru. And did it for another faith. Sarbat Da Bhalla. Lastly, Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. We've already spoken about Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, who was Guru Gobind Singh Ji's father. They've already given their father away for us. Mata Gujri Ji, Char Sahib, Anandpur Sahib da Kila, sara kuch sade vaste waar ditta. They didn't keep anything for themselves. They said, Panth vase main ujra, an chao kanera. In putran ke sheesh par waar diye sukh char muhe to kya hua? Jeevat kai hizar. So what? 4 of my sons have died. All of these sons are still alive. So we need to look at ourselves. Are we the sons that Guru Gobind Singh Ji were talking about? Asi ohi potti hain jehde Guru Gobind Singh Ji chhad ke gaye si. Are we Baba Jeet Singh Ji, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, Baba Zorawar Singh Ji, Baba Fateh Singh Ji? Or are we something else? Or are we just trying to look like them, but there's nothing inside? So there's the difference between a Sikh and the rest of the world. We need to be Guru Gobind Singh Ji's daughters and sons. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji can look at us and say, "Ha, jadon main apna sarban swarya changa kita." for these kids, for these sons and daughters. But if we're not going to be those sons and daughters, then what are we going to be? So every time we're doing the dance, every time we listen to the Pankti, Nanak Naam, Chardi Kala, Tere Pane, Sarbat Da Bhalla, don't just recite it. Start off with Naam. That's where we need to start from. Once you have Naam inside you, you go in Chardi Kala. Once you're in Chardi Kala, Paramanand, you'll have so much strength that nothing will affect you. And then you won't think about yourself ever. You'll think about everybody else. Sarbat Da Bhalla. बोलते हैं कई बुला चुका हो गया अनजान बच्चे समझ के खिमान जा चुका I must have mistakes, so many mistakes. Do a dance for me that I can live up to Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbat Da Bhalla as well. If I've said anything wrong, please forgive me.